Alex, just wanted to ask you about one of your fellow linemen and Salah. Just how far has he come from a guy who walked in and was almost 400 pounds when the day he walked in the door, and now is in position potentially to start for you guys?
Yeah. Salah, since the day he got here, you're right. He was about 400 pounds, and you've just seen him work, and he doesn't talk much, but he just puts his head down and works. I think that's just the kind of guy he is, whether it comes to the playbook, technique stuff. Obviously he lost some weight. When he first came in, he was a little too heavy. So he just puts his head down. That guy just grinds and he works. He's the kind of O-lineman we love to have.
Next question, Paul Danzer from the Portland Tribune.
Hey, Alex. I'm curious about the process of learning the center position and that transition in terms of needing to make the calls on the line. How have you gone about learning that, and what has been some of the challenges in that process?
Yeah, great question. That's it's a lot different than the other O-line positions. You kind of got to be the quarterback of the O-line is kind of how I look at it. You got to get the guys right, make the right front ID, make the right call. Every position on the O-line has its challenges. And I'm not going to sit here and say one position is harder than the other. But they're all so different in terms of what you have to do. And I think center is a lot of cerebral, knowing what the defense is running, knowing the defense's personality, what they like to do defensively, especially with the defensive line. A lot of responsibility comes with playing center. I think, it's a great challenge every day.
Aaron Heisen, KWVA.
Yeah, Alex, Jordan mentioned you as one of the leaders on the O-line. How have you taken that role upon yourself to improve as leader and bring the other guys along with you?
Yeah, being one of the kind of the older guys now, sitting behind Shane, Jake, Calvin Throckmorton, Brady Aiello, Dallas Warmack, Charlie Landgraf, all those guys that were the leaders and stuff of the O-line. Them going, there's kind of a big gap, and it's not like an inherited leadership. You kind of got to earn it. I know I've talked about that before. But that's something you kind of just gotta. There's an open gap, and we have a lot of guys leading. I don't think you can just win with one leader, especially on the O-line. You got to have multiple guys that want to lead, and then guys that got to follow. I think there's nothing wrong with being a follower, but I think I've tried to step up in a leadership role because I think fits my personality much better. And so I've just tried to be a leader vocally and with what I do in the field.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Alex, you were talking about all the responsibilities that a center has, but one of the key ones also is, getting the snap off to the quarterback. How automatic is that to you at this point, getting that snap there and not having to think about it?
Yeah, I mean, that's something you just got to focus on every play, I think at every level. You really got to focus on it every play, and there's a lot going on with the live bullets when you're out there and stuff, and guys are moving around and stuff, so you don't have a lot of time to think. You kind of just got to react to what they give you. But I think that's obviously one of the challenges that comes with center, along with making the ID calls and all that stuff.
James Capilla, the Oregonian.
A little related, Alex. Coach Cristobal has talked about watching film of other teams who've been playing and stuff, and watching the NCAA rules videos with Steve Shaw each week to see some of the intricacies and rare things that kind of come up. It came up a couple of weeks ago with the Auburn game with Arkansas with the botched snap and the reverse spike that should have been a fumble and stuff. I realize that's more on the quarterback than the center, but it's a team who's rarely under center. Something happens. It's in the heat of the moment. It's a close game. How much have you as a center watched and learned from either the rules videos or from other games so far this season?
Yeah, that's been the benefit of kind of, I mean, I wish we could have played earlier, but, you got to make the best out of your situation. And I think that's been the best thing is watching these other teams, learning from them, watching what they do, and being able to watch other guys and how they play and learn from them.
Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News.
Alex, you talked about the guys that you followed, Jake and all the guys who graduated and went on to play in the NFL. I'm curious what it feels like now. This is every player's dream, is now it's your time. You get a chance to shine now at the center position. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's I mean, I've came here, and since the day I got here, I just tried to be a sponge and learn as much as I could from those guys. Coming in, I knew we had a really talented offensive line, and that's why I came here is because I know this is going to be the best place for me and the best place for me to grow as a player and a person. And so those guys, I mean, they were awesome. They were great teachers. If I ever had a question, just asking Shane, Jay, any one of them, what they're thinking about on certain plays or protections. I think they were great in terms of helping the young guys. And so that's something that we've really tried to, as the older guys now, we've really tried to incorporate because we know how much that benefits the young guys, and you need everybody to be ready. But yeah.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Alex, I know you go up against Jordan Scott quite a bit in practice. I just asked him about your game, and you tell me about his game and the challenges he presents.
Yeah, he's big and he's fast too. He's people don't realize how quick he is off the ball now. His pass rush is good now, really good. And so he's a challenge every day. I mean, there's you can't take a play off, or else he's going to whoop your butt. So you gotta be ready and bring it against that guy every single day, whether it's him, Austin, Brandon Dorless, Keon, Christian Williams, any of our D linemen. That's just the interior guys. You got to really bring it against those guys, unless you want to get embarrassed on a play. So you got to just bring it every play against those guys.
James from the Oregonian.
Alex, in prepping for Stanford and watching tape, especially last year, how different is their front seven personnel-wise? I realize scheme stays the same a lot, but they do lose Tuhill off the edge. Now they say that Reed's not going to play. Just how different is that to prepare for when you're preparing for them for first time in full, and now some of their best players from a year ago aren't there?
Yeah, it's their front. They're really good with their front seven and stuff. And I don't watch as much the DBs and stuff, but I know their defense is really stout, really physical up front. The tough part is we haven't had any games to watch from this year, so you don't really know what the guys look like this year. But I think their front sevens they look like they're really physical. So we got to bring it.